Finnish international Osku Palermo with the lead here early in match number 2, but he may have made a big mistake while we were away in commercial break. He stepped up during the break thinking that he was allowed a practice shot, but he wasn't. So this shot where he left the 10-pin is gonna stand. The house was pumping music, people were throwing out hats, and people were standing up kind of doing a 7th inning stretch, and Osku again thought, according to him, that he could get a practice shot. Instead, that practice shot will stand. Slams down the 10th. That was an angry spare conversion.
Well, in his own defense, this is only his 2nd ever telecast, and he just figured, hey, I can get up and throw a practice shot. I'm on this pair. There's a pure bedlam going on right now during the commercial break, and didn't know it.
See if that hurts him or not. A spare in the 4th for Osku. We'll circle that. Here is Scroggins in the 4th. Back-to-back jacks for Scroggins.
And with that, Mike Scroggins takes the early lead through 4 frames. But remember, it's not who leads, it's the low score. The low score will be eliminated in this match. Right now, the low score going to Brian Kretzer.
Kretzer started with the strike, since then a 9 spare and an 8 spare. Here he is in the 4th. Come on, Messenger in front of the 10.
Yeah, and Brian with a spare here will only trail Osku Palermo by 3 pins.
Kretzer, 0 wins on the tour. Talked to him last night about that PBA cut line, and he was below it coming into the week. He said, you know, it's always there. Outside about 8 or 10 guys, once the season starts, you immediately start thinking about that exempt cut line. And every time I won another match this week, it wasn't about the money, it was about the points and moving up the list.
Yeah, talking about living on the edge, he was outside of the cut number coming into this week, and what a time to have a week where you make television.
3 in a row for Scroggins, who's making back-to-back shows for the 5th time in his career. This week, he moved into the top 25 all-time in career earnings, over 1.3 mil in the kind of season he's having. He said, you know, probably my top 3, not my best. Had he won the U.S. Open last week, probably would have been his best season ever. Kretzer in the 5th. Needs a strike. Gets a strike. A lot of Kretzers in the house. His daughter, Megan, and the other daughter, Madison, there. His son, Mason, and his 2 grandsons. Right through the nose for Palermo.
Yeah, and a bad time to leave the 3-6-9-10. And he just went from a 3-pin lead over Brian Kretzer to trailing now by a pin if he were to convert here.
Kretzer telling us he likes this format, saying, I'm not an overly aggressive bowler on the tour. I'm usually looking at what I need to do to be above somebody or some line, which is exactly what you have to do today. So back-to-back strikes for Kretzer as he sits down, done in the 6th.
Well, and unlike regular matches where it's just you against your opponent and you have 1 score to beat, now
big open frame.
I mean, now there's 2 players and potentially 2 guys, and you only have to beat 1 of them. To me, that takes a lot of pressure off of you, knowing that, hey, I don't have to be the high guy, I just don't have to be the low guy. Osku Palermo in big trouble now with an open in the 5th. Scroggins working on a 3-back.
Those signs. Yeah, smile up, Scroggy. That was a delayed gratification, Hambo.
Oh, and I just got beat up on my co-host because Mike Scroggins had to go and trip the 3-pin.
Palermo off that open frame, and fortunate to have that leave.
And Osku in trouble now, halfway through, 6th frame, trailing Brian Kretzer by 13. Kretzer working on a double, can extend it to 23.
3 in a row for Kretzer. He's got Mo on his side.
He said this may be the easiest win for me if I get to the title match. And it's looking to shape up that way. Brian Kretzer and possibly a Mike Scroggins showdown unless Osku can pull something out with 4 frames remaining.
Scroggins made the Eliminator telecast last season, finished 3rd. Here he is, looking for 5 in a row. Drops the nickel to Scroggy.
Do you think he remembers what happened last year with Barnes and Mika ganging up on him and Rhino Page? Because it was obvious. Yeah, it was obvious it didn't sit well with him last year, and I bet you he still remembers that. That's in the back of his mind. He says, you know, I'm going to get some revenge on those right-handers.
Palermo cannot take care of the 10.
Stay on.
Yeah, and right now Brian Kretzer can all but eliminate Osku with a shot here in the 8th frame, looking for another 4-bagger.
Brian Kretzer trying to drop the Kirk Herbstreit. Give him a Herbstreit!
I'm guessing Kirk was number 4?
Absolutely. College Game Day's own Kirk Herbstreit lives here in Columbus. Number 4 as a Buckeye drops the Herbstreit.
He was a quarterback.
Man, you know that. You're just giving me a hard time now. Palermo in big trouble. Scroggins on top. Kretzer down 12 is perfectly fine for him.
Yeah, but he's down 12 to Mike Scroggins, but he's up a bunch over Osku Palermo.
Scroggins dialed in right now. He said, you know, after such a draining week last week at the U.S. Open, thought he wouldn't do very well. Had low expectations coming into Columbus. First 7 games, you know, I said I was poor in qualifying. Then I got my legs. I got that 2nd win, snuck into the top 16, and he was the only lefty to do that. And here he is, almost in the title match. A much-needed strike for Palermo.
He got a little bit softer and started opening the lane up a little bit. The best he can shoot, however, only 213. Brian Kretzer's already in the 220s. Mike Scroggins is already in the 240s.
5 in a row.
He's having a good time.
Gotta stay, baby.
That's kind of Kretzer's motto. A couple times last night he said to me, having fun is all that matters. Got to have fun out there. Enjoy yourself. Great attitude. Scroggins. Kicks the extra point on that touchdown. Two in a row for Palermo.
I asked Oscar, what are you doing after this event? He said, well, we have a week off next week, so I'm going to Paris to bowl a tournament.
Why not, right?
It's the same tournament Brian Voss won last year. A bunch of PBA pros are going over to Paris during the break, and none of them are taking me with them. Can you believe that?
You don't want to go to Paris with a bunch of guys. Take the misses. So Kretzer steps up now, comfortably in 2nd. Scroggins having a great run here. Kretzer 6 in a row, looking for 7 in a row, or the Ted Ginn Jr.
Well,
Will not get the Ginn.
You had to jinx him right there with the Ted Ginn.
Rapid fire here as we close in on the conclusion of match number 2. Kretzer clears that one up.
Will the straight game get him through one more match and win him his first title? Mike Scroggins shooting a big 250 game. Brian Kretzer 245. Ooh, Scroggy, what are you doing? Was that an area check?